President-elect Joe Biden on Saturday pressed President Trump to immediately sign a COVID-19 relief bill that is stuck in limbo, blasting what he deemed Trump's abdication of responsibility. Biden noted that the bill contains provisions for small businesses and extended unemployment benefits, as well as stimulus checks, and that it could help struggling families experiencing the pandemic's economic fallout during the holiday season. It is the day after Christmas, and millions of families don't know if they'll be able to make ends meet because of President Donald Trump's refusal to sign an economic relief bill approved by Congress with an overwhelming and bipartisan majority, Biden said in a statement. This abdication of responsibility has devastating consequences. This bill is critical. It needs to be signed into law now, but it is also a first step and down payment on more action that we'll need to take early in the next year to revive the economy and contain the pandemic, including meeting the dire need for funding to distribute and administer the vaccine and increase our testing capacity. So the reason I side with Trump on this, and they actually mentioned right here, the president specifically called on Congress to raise the amount of the stimulus checks for Americans from $600 to $2,000 and tore into spending provisions such as the $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia. But focusing on the part of this that where he wants more money for people, 3 times the amount of what they're offering, it needs to be understood that 600 is not able to assist certain people in certain places. So if you have someone who, for example, lives in California, a state where rent is known for being notoriously high, they're a lot less likely to be aided in a substantial way by the 600 than someone who lives in, Wyoming or Vermont. And really, it's such a sad thing when your way of addressing the president's critique, which is that the amount that's allotted to people is not enough, among other things, but that's principally what's being taken from here, is to just say, no, it needs to be signed now. And I've talked about how one of the schemes that members of Congress do is they get you to vote or sign on to something while promising you that, they'll do something later on and then never getting around to it. This was the case with the First Step Act, where that was a bill that Democrats intended to have make marginal differences in the criminal justice system for later, to set the basis for later changing things in substantial ways. And the Republicans said, no, thank you, and voted with them on that and then never brought up this topic again. So it's really going to be the same thing if Trump signs this. They're going to say, here's your 600, and then they'll blame people when they start getting kicked out. And, it's really a sad venture that the Democrats, who are supposed to be the party of working people, are literally trying to help screw over working people with their little mousetrap crumb nonsense that they're putting in place. So I agree with Trump on this. Hopefully we get, some deal that has more for people.